It has been 2 seasons since we last raced here in Portimao. The 5 lights come on to start Portugal. And the lights are out, and away we go. Gecko alongside Cookie on the run to turn 1, but behind that, Jack Miles gets the upper edge on Gecko, and gonna be alongside with the Chiller. Jack to second place. Gecko battling side by side. Lots of squawking around in the midfield. Lots of guys weaving and bobbing, but the Chiller will try to take 30. Can't do so. Side by side now with Owen and Skither for 6th, while Cookie leads over Jack Miles and crash. That's a crash. That's TB off. Cam has been collected. I think that was also Knights getting a slight piece of that. J&T as well. Also stopped on the track. The virtual safety car has been deployed from their debacle. The VSC came to an abrupt end, and it's also caught Gecko out. Gecko, who had a awful start on those mediums, and nearly a collision on the straight. The Chiller trying to get through, couldn't get through, and they're single file all the way to Owen. But everybody right there just trying to have a go on the car in front of them. And now Owen, Skither, Minico, nearly a 3-car collision with that accordion effect. Owen gonna hang it around the outside of Skither. He goes off track, comes back on side by side, then backs off to give him the place back. But Skither having to defend here at the hairpin. Turn 5, having the inside, gonna squeeze Owen there to the curb. Using the battery now, turning on the jets, and Owen will still be side by side here, hanging it with the curb, and Owen jumping over the curb. And now it's Samsung corner. Skither excels ahead on those hard tires. They did not have the best getaway, but he is able to keep the place, while RPL Jordan gets a place on George. Now, Jack Miles in DRS pursuit of Cookie to challenge here in lap 3. George and Jordan are still not done at it. Try saying that fast, George and Jordan. Another swap for 13th place. George through, Jordan trying to come back at it, and George can't keep him at bay. Jordan down the inside, and he's banging wheels with Jordan. Jordan through on George.
Yeah, Jordan really putting on a bit of a stomper against George here. Ooh, a little bit of a shunt from George. Got into the back of Jordan, and he's over the back of him again. Here we go as George making down the inside. Little touch. Oh boy.
So Mintoki was one of those guys who was not happy with George, and now here goes to Chiller, blasting past Gecko to take over 3rd place in this race. Eggles also trying to get Andrea for a point spot. That'll be crucial for Williams in their constructors fight, and Andrea punts the back of him. And now 3-car race into turn number 1. Mintoki slams into Jordan, hopping onto that curb, gonna get all wrong there. So both Ferraris there got past on the main straight, and one of them was with contact. Here's George also defending Jordan still. Wheel to wheel at turn 1. Jordan has to use the runoff, and now George will have the inside preferred line and remains ahead at turn 3.
Yeah, a bit of a wild mess. A little bit of a wild mess. Oh! I had a feeling that was going to happen. Now to try to go to get himself into the points. And
Jordan retires in the pit lane. Gecko now going for 2nd place in this race. Dive down the inside. Late lunge through on Jack, but Jack not back done at it. He's going to try a switchback here as they race side by side. Jack Miles has to concede the place, and he was being caught out majorly there from losing DRS. He's lost 2nd place as well in the process. Gecko makes it a Red Bull 1 too.
With Gecko's penalty, this is now going to have McLaren stick around and stay alive for another week. Yeah, Scythe around Owen now. This time
a little bit of a dummy.
Scythe had to go a long way around and gets himself back into 6th place. Now this is going to help Scythe out because he is still alive in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. This is unusual.
I'm sort of not surprised because of how poor the tire management is for the Ferrari cars. So that's not surprising. Blonde now going for the move on Owen. 3 abreast for just a second. Owen luckily backed off, and Blonde got 2 in 1 right there. What a miraculous move that was.
Yeah, absolutely. As Gecko currently has 6 seconds of penalties. This is not what he wants. This is not what Red Bull wants in order to try to go for a constructor's title here, as TB now into the penalty box. And Skither passing Blonde down the main straight into turn 1, and he is ahead up in the 3rd place at the moment. Owen has decided to bolt off to the pits now, as
Blonde is going to be vulnerable.
Still has the DRS with Skither, and Cookie still has to stay behind Skither and Blonde for the time being.
And he goes
But
for
maybe
it!
Not.
Late lunge through for 3rd place. That was a nice dive, and now on his championship rival from earlier this season, Skither battling Cookie. Side by side they go to turn 5. Skither backs off, realizing this is not his race, so Cookie prevails ahead for 2nd place, making it a Red Bull 1-2, but in opposite order.
Scyther, despite being on the harder compound in the first stint,
Hold on.
maintain his ground.
Gecko has staggering pace in comparison to Chiller, and he's going to use that by squeezing him to the curb at turn 5, and Gecko through onto Chiller. In 7th place right now is a bit of an interesting one if Ferrari were to maintain him for next season. DRS applied from Blonde, and Skither has fell back. He's down to 8th. And now Knights with Egg. This is a nice little battle down the main straight. Egg claims P9 for Williams. How about that with a nice move on the main straight with DRS applied. Knights down to 10th. And Cryptic right there as well in the thick of things if a penalty does get applied from any of these guys in front.
Yeah, it looks like Gecko is all over the back of Jack now to try to go for that 2nd place. He's really right smack dab up the tail end of Jack here. I think he might. Would he chance for an overtake down there? Yes, he does. And
he caught him
makes
napping.
It work.
Wow. Jack just used 20% of that battery to try to remain in DRS right here because he knew he was about to fall out of DRS, and he's still not done with this fight. The Chiller has been overtaken for 4th place on track from Minico. He was already going to be overtaken due to the penalties, but Minico is up to 4th on track now and fighting for this. That is the AlphaTauri lap down.
Yeah, that's George.
Knights
Looks like
through on Egg.
Knight's not done.
Minico would be getting 3rd, but Minico barely has the buffer over him. Excuse me on that. 3-car race into turn 1. Put a blanket over them. Here comes Blonde once again. And Skither, can he do what Blonde did now? He's going to try the right side, then the left side to have a chance around the outside. But Blonde through into 6th, Skither into 7th, and Owen down to 8th. Oh!
Ooh.
My goodness. Now side by side here. Knights getting through an Egg. Owen trying to go back at it with a switcheroo.
Skither knows his back is against the wall here for it. As see here, Minico down the inside into turn 1, clears Jack up into 3rd place.
And Skither gets Blonde. Cryptic also got Egg. 3 different changes there in the span of 30 seconds. And Gecko, by the way, could be taking his first podium in F1 RPL since Season 5 right now.
Well, currently at the moment, he is looking to maintain that 2nd place right now because he is 6.2 seconds clear of Minico. Yeah, Cryptic being harassed around by both Knights and Egg. This is for the last batch of points. And that is actually going to help. That's actually going to help Skither out as well. That means that's at 1.
Jack's going for it.
1 point. Yeah,
Jack's going for it, and Jack's through. Jack got turn 1 on Minico quite late, and now the other Aston of Owen gets Blonde.
Oh, something must have just happened because Blonde just overtook Owen for 7th. I couldn't catch what happened because for some reason my controller showed that was nothing happening.
Gaining. Can't do it.
Block it off.
And he's gonna have to try turn 3. He hops the curb.
Whoa.
That might pick you up a track limit penalty. He'll try turn 4. He'll try turn 5. The other available places. Overtake
Yeah, but
on
Blonde-
use. Defending.
Blonde actually, Blonde has that had to help at DRS because of the lap car of George, but Blonde putting up a staunching fight, trying to keep it together. The side by side heading to Samsung. Ooh, this is gonna be tight.
Blonde through. Owen with the switchback, tagging his rear wheel. Side by side there, crossing the line now for the victory for a 12th win from pole this season. That's a new record. Cookie wins Portugal.
Whoa! Some hard racing. There's some hard racing between Blonde and
Gecko.
Owen.
on,
They
Titan.
both got a little slipper.
Gecko claims his first podium since season 5, and Jack Miles with a 9th different team is on the podium. It's Aston Martin. And will this be a fight to the line? You were mentioning Blonde and Owen. Blonde will remain for 7th over Owen. And it's a safety car free race in Portimao too, with Cryptic hanging on from Egg. Can Egg make a last-ditch effort to get 1 extra point for Williams here? Cryptic running out of battery, so is Egg. Cryptic hangs on. In his 2 races this season, whether it's AlphaTauri or Alpine, he remains with a 100% point streak in the races he's done. Cryptic hangs on, Egg hangs on, Knights P11, and Mercedes. For the first time in 406 days in Tier 1, they will not see points.
Wow,
Vapor JS is the last one across the line, but Cookie conquers Portimao, winning once again. It is his 13th win on the season, Red Bull's 85th all-time, and as for Cookie's all-time amount, 14, putting him 11 behind second-place man Skither, the guy that he can end up getting next week with one hand on the trophy.
If you would like to join the league or watch the upcoming races in the future live, click on the description. Both links will be there for the Discord and the Twitch. Subscribe to the RPL YouTube to stay up to date with things, and we'll see you next time.